Namaskar, I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to our live and interactive session. You are watching our 5-day, 5-hour online training program on PM eVidya channels 6 to 12 and also on our YouTube handle NCERT Official. Today we are in day 2 of the training session which we are conducting under the umbrella theme of Microlearning and Nano-Learning, designing bite-sized digital content to enhance teaching learning. This online training program is brought to you by Central Institute of Educational Technology, that is CIET NCERT New Delhi. And today on day 2, the topic that we have taken up is pedagogical design of bite-sized digital modules. Well, in yesterday's session, that is on day 1, we actually learned about micro-learning, nano-learning. Of course, we also understood about its concept, need and scope, and today we will be focusing on bite-sized digital modules. Well, how these modules are developed, what is the relevance of these modules and how they are bringing an entire difference to the entire teaching learning process. I'm sure you must be having a lot of questions for today's session as well, because it's a training program, and if you will attempt this assessment successfully, scoring more than 70%, only then you will be granted a certificate. So I request everybody out there to please watch all the sessions very carefully, and if you wish to participate in the middle of the session, well, we have all the mediums for you. Please take down our phone number, which is 8800440559. We also have a dedicated email ID for you, that is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. And lastly, you can send us your questions, suggestions and feedback on our YouTube handle NCERT Official. Well, now it's time for me to introduce you all to our expert for the day. So please join me in welcoming our guest, Dr. R.C. Sharma, former director of CIEMCA, New Delhi. Sir, namaskar and very warm welcome to the session.
Okay, thank you so much.
Right, sir. So, it's a great pleasure to have you with us for today's session, and I really want to understand that why we have chosen this topic today. So, before you actually delve deep into the presentation, please give us a brief summary of what exactly you'll be covering under the topic today.
Okay, sure. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's session on pedagogical design of bite-sized digital modules, part of our training on micro-learning and nano-learning, designing bite-sized digital content for enhancing teaching learning. Today, we will try to understand what bite-sized modules really are and what they are not. And as you must have already learned from the excellent presentation by Professor Gaurav Singh yesterday,
Yeah.
Today we will learn about the pedagogical principles that underpin their design.
Okay.
We will also see some of the global and Indian examples,
Mm-hmm.
and we will work through a design process we can use immediately. We will also explore assessment strategies and National Education Policy 2020 connections. So we are going to deal with these important aspects of pedagogical design for these bite-sized digital modules.
Right, sir. We are looking forward to this session because you talked about NEP 2020, you also talked about AI, and of course, today we are moving towards micro-learning and nano-learning, because yesterday we learned that how attention span is getting reduced day by day. So to cater to the needs of the students of today's age and scenario, it's important to, enhance and develop newer ways for the creation of the content. Now, sir, I request you to kindly go ahead with your presentation, and if at all there are any questions that we will be receiving from our audiences, we will take them up in the end. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. Okay, well, friends, just a quick, I know that you won't be able to speak in this session, but you can very well type your answer in the chat box on the YouTube. So let us first understand, what does bite-sized learning mean to you? And please choose the best match out of these given.
I think it's option A, short videos only. I can at least try to attempt.
Okay. It's not only the videos.
Okay.
When we say bite-sized, it means that any kind of material which is a smaller focused unit.
Okay. So option
So,
B is the right answer.
yes.
Okay.
So, and there is a fun fact to it
Mm-hmm.
that did you know that TikTok has more than 1 billion daily views of videos, which are often under 60 seconds. And while it is not a formal learning platform, it has trained an entire generation to expect tight, focused, and engaging content. And as educators, we don't have to become TikTokers because
Yeah.
that's a altogether different career area. But we can learn from them how they hold the attention. And the screen on the right here is my good friend, Professor Jed Ali Alsagov from Malaysia. We both were teaching in Malaysia. This is his channel, and he has introduced a very interesting concept here of teaching Islam using AI. And these are his TikTok videos. So here the link is given. YouTube link is also given in that. So let us see how we can use that spirit without losing depth or rigor in our own teaching using from there. So let us start with the clarity on our key terms, means certain definitions like microlearning, which typically refers to short, focused learning experiences which last from 2 to 15 minutes. And nano-learning is even smaller, means like 1 to 2 minutes burst of knowledge. So these are not just shorter lectures. They are designed intentionally to focus on one learning goal at a time, making them easier to absorb, recall, and apply. Although here there is an interesting thing which sometimes I wonder, and I discuss it with many people. They say that nowadays our attention span has reduced. So, and therefore longer videos are not recommended. But I keep thinking that we can watch the Bahubali, which is around 5 hours long, because the director now is coming up with a combined version of part 1 and part 2. We all will be watching that. So why can't we create our educational content on the same way, where even if it is a longer video, we can watch it. But that goes with the educational material, not the entertainment material, because in entertain there are so many other things, and there is a very thin line between what can go into as a humor or it can become a joke of the things. So that we need to be quite aware of. And I'm happy to inform to all our valued readers here. Very recently, we have also launched a bite-sized capsule program. If you just see, it is a 32-minute, the whole duration on Udemy. The name of this course is Neuroscience Beyond Everyone. It's a free course for anyone. I mean, it's not only for doctors, it is for anyone. Here we explore the role of brain in the future of everything. And on the right, there are these 7-8 videos which are the part of this course. So we have some of the videos of 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and something like that. We were quite delighted to know that around more than 250, this is the reach. Here you can see our students, they have got enrolled in this course from 57 countries, more than I think 263 or 264, speaking 14 languages. So, and our experience was, we were very happy with it, that including this, how we can promote micro-learning, where we can offer short and focused learning experiences, which range from 2 to 15 minutes. Although we have not gone beyond 10 minutes of any, whether it was a text content or the video content in our course. A little bit of the historical evolution on this did you know that the flashcards, they are considered as one of the earliest micro-learning tools. In 19th century, teachers used them to teach alphabets, vocabulary, math facts, one concept at a time, and breaking the big topics into memorable bite-sized pieces. And so in many ways, we are not reinventing the learning. We are adapting old wisdom for the modern technology. So a question for you. Again, you can type ABCD in the chat box there. Which platform popularized nano lessons in India? Whether it was Byju's or Swayam or DIKSHA platform. I know I can't switch my screen to go to YouTube to see that because I'm here. Okay, I hope that somebody must have so far typed either A or B or C. So while all these, they have micro-learning features, Swayam specifically breaks university courses into smaller modular video lessons, which are aligned with our country's NEP 2020 vision. So that is a way to have the implementation of micro-learning or nano lesson planning in the teaching learning settings for all of us. Now, let us clear some of the common misconceptions related to micro-learning. There are some conception among the people that if it is a short content, it may be of low quality. The fact is that the quality, a good micro-learning is carefully designed and not just chopped up lectures. So the quality depends on the design, not on the length. And that's why I said that even if it is let me give you a simple example. I think everybody watches television every day. And you see these the advertisements of a specific product. Say like if you have to sell this, what for you? Within 20 seconds, the whole of the story is presented to us. And maybe in most of the time, the product company is successful in selling their product because we become tempted to, oh, okay, this looks a good product. Let me place the order for it. So here, it is the design, the quality, not the length of the content of the item, which matters. So the second is that the micro-learning fits only the easy topics. This the myth. But the fact is that even advanced medical training courses or the programs, they use nano modules to teach complex procedures in these steps. So that's also not a valid justification of the people thinking that only easy topics can be presented using this format. And then some people consider that it is for lazy learners. The fact is that it respects cognitive load theory. We are going to understand what is cognitive load theory and the time constraints, meeting learners where they are. So that is more important aspect to see in here. Let us see some of the global success stories of this. I think most of you must have already been knowing that the Duolingo, one of the most popular app to learn another language. So in this, it teaches different languages in less than 5-minute lessons, gamified with points, streaks, and instant feedback. Another example is of Khan Academy, which breaks school subjects into 5 to 10-minute videos with practice exercises. And then our own SWIM platform, the National MOOC platform, with thousands of short modular video lessons across disciplines. So, okay, this prompts me now to ask you that what is the one topic you teach or, for example, study that could work well in a bite-sized form? If you are teaching, if you are a teacher attending this session now, or if you are a learner, any topic which you are studying, do you share that which could work well if it is presented in a bite-sized format. So please share your opinion in the chat box. And these things, they are highly aligned with our national education policy, because it calls for modular, flexible, competence-based learning. So micro-learning and nano-learning, they are the tools to realize this vision, offering students multiple entry and exit points, stackable credentials, and self-paced pathways. So that's why this training program has been planned at a very right time, because nowadays we are at the very crucial stage of implementation of the recommendations of NEP 2020. So far we have defined micro and nano learning, seen their history and global success stories, and we have busted a few myths as well. Next, let us dig into the pedagogy that makes bite-sized learning actually work. So now we know that what micro-learning and nano-learning are. So now let us explore why they work. Means this is where the science of learning comes in. And therefore, it is imperative that we try to understand the pedagogical foundations that justify using bite-sized modules in education, especially in higher education and professional training. And if you remember that our national education policy emphasizes a shift to competency-based education, modularity, and flexible learning pathways. So micro-learning aligns with these goals by helping learners achieve specific outcomes at their own pace. And therefore, one of the important things which comes here is the cognitive load theory. Perhaps you are aware of it, that we have two kinds of memory patterns: short-term memory and long-term memory. Maybe because nowadays everybody has a mobile phone or working on computers. So I can give the example of like RAM and ROM, the read-only memory and random access memory. When we shut down our computing system, so whatever is the temporary memory, it just washes out. So that is the temporary memory. When a software tries to work, we upload our data, something into it, that is stored into the RAM, random access memory. But then when we boot up the machine next time, it needs certain instructions from where it will start working again. Those instructions, they are stored in the read-only memory. So maybe you can compare the short-term memory and long-term memory. There are certain activities, like if I ask that, can you remember that what meal did you take 4 days ago in the lunchtime? Or maybe what attire you were having 1 week ago, like, or if you are listening to 10 songs in a row, and then can you remember that what was the third, when you have reached the 10th song, that what was the third song in that? So those kind of things, the short-term things which we need to recall immediately. And then there are certain things which are stored means within our memory area, and we can use them in like even at unconscious subconscious level. So cognitive load theory pertains to this. Means, have you ever sat through a 2-hour lecture and remembered almost nothing at the end? So this is not about intelligence or motivation. This is about how our working memory works. So cognitive load theory here says that our brain can only process a limited amount of information at a time. So overloading learners leads to confusion and poor retention. So that's why sometimes we see that we say that keep your instructions simple. Too many complex overloading something can overwhelm our learners, our listeners like that. Here, micro-learning reduces cognitive load by presenting one clear idea at a time. So, as an example, instead of teaching all research methods in one class, we offer shorter modules. For example, sampling at one time, then survey design at another time, and then ethics at other time. So NEP 2020 explicitly calls for redesigning the curricula to avoid content overload and making learning outcomes clear. This is how we define our goals clarity. Like if we have our goal that to understand the climate exchange, the better thing is that to make it shorter, explain 3 causes of global warming in 2 minutes. So this way it becomes an easy thing for the students even to capture that essence of the topic and remember it and understand it very well. One of the methodology is chunking and scaffolding. Chunking means breaking complex information into meaningful units. We have been doing this forever. Means nowadays, the mobile phone, it has created another issue with us. Long back when we didn't have the mobile numbers, those wired cabled telephone, we used to remember the phone number of people. Nowadays, sometimes we don't remember our own number. I have seen some people. If you ask them what is your number, then they will open and my phone number. They have saved their own number using that. So, but learning phone numbers in a group of 3 or 4 digits, or memorizing eVidya for the color of the rainbow. So those kind of things. We try to break something into smaller units and try to remember that pattern. In fact, it is a memory technique as well to learn the things into them. And in education, chunking helps students manage the complexity of any content, of any topic or something. So there. Then the another term here is scaffolding, which is the support we give to help learners master those chunks before combining them. So bite-sized module is the natural chunking unit. For example, if we want to teach Python to our students, the Python language, which is one of the nowadays the most popular language for working on artificial intelligence. So we can create some modules, like one module on variables, another module on loops, and another module on functions. So students can master each before moving on. So that way it helps us in that. And then the next technique strategy here is the follow the adult learning principles, the novels andragogy. Most of we teach adults or like college level learners. And Malcolm Knowles proposed the andragogy. The principles, they tell us that the adults, they need to see the relevance of the content. They want self-direction. They bring, when we are dealing with something with them, they bring in their prior experience. They have seen so many things, even prior entering that educational settings into it. And they prefer problem-centric learning. So the bite-sized modules, they honor these factors by being flexible, by being targeted, and easy to revisit or skip if the prior knowledge exists. So if we want to teach like some way to do a particular action. And if our learners, if they already know that, like, okay, driving or swimming or cycling, so then we can skip or we can revisit it in a different way. As an example, the professional development courses, like this is the training program, often let our learners choose, like say a 5-minute video they actually need, and skipping what they already know about it. So because it helps them, those which have a very diverse needs, and it is quite flexible for those people who have busy schedule with them, means already engaged with so many other things doing in there. Okay, so now it is the time to get the hands-on experiences on dealing with that. We know the why of the bite-sized modules. We have understood it now, but let us focus on the how aspect of it. So here is a step-by-step approach we can use to design our own bite-sized digital modules. Step 1 will be analyzing learning goals. What we do here, start with the question, what should my learner be able to do at the end? And keep it specific. In fact, we say that as per NEP, the learning outcomes, they need to be smart learning outcomes. So we call them as SMART goals. So S is specific, M stands for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant, T for time bound. So SMART learning objectives. For example, if we see that our goal is to make our students understand research methods, that may not be a impactful goal. Instead, we can say that make our students will be able to list 3 sampling techniques in 2 minutes. So that is more impactful outcome. And it has a big alignment with the NEP 2020 as well, because it emphasizes clearly defined competencies at every level of education. We need to focus on that. Second step is to structure content into micro or nano units. Break down these big goals into smaller, coherent units. Think in terms of single idea per module. For example, if we are teaching a big course, for example, research methods, so we can have one micro unit on sampling, another micro unit on questionnaire design, another micro unit on data analysis basics. So this approach also aligns perfectly with NEP vision of modular and flexible curricula. We come to third step then, where we design clear learning outcomes. And it is advisable that this step be not skipped. Even a 3-minute video should have an outcome. So for example, learner can list 4 sampling methods, and the 4 type of sampling methods. So make our outcomes measurable, concise, and achievable in the time frame. So we can say that, okay, if you can tell me within 5 minutes 4 kind of sampling methods, and if you are able to do that, we mean that the outcome has been achieved is there. We need to ensure coherence among different modules. Micro-learning doesn't mean random learning. There has to be a flow. There has to be a consistent format. Our module should be part of a bigger plan. So we need to use a consistent format, and we need to provide navigation guidance. So we can say here, okay, if you don't know sampling, you can start from here. Like in most of the online courses, you may be finding that the hyperlinking makes it very easy. If there is a particular term, like if you are teaching cybersecurity, And in cybersecurity, if we are teaching dumpster diving or juice jacking or spear fishing, something, those kind of content. And we are going to teach, say, like uh, advanced persistent threats. And if some of the concepts are not clear to the students, then we can tell them that, okay, if you don't know about APT, then go back here and can learn. So we can establish a linkage, a kind of navigation with that. I remember two of the examples from here. One is the like SWAM courses, although they are modular, but they are sequenced. So there is a hierarchy in that. And another like Byju's app, it suggests prerequisite modules before letting you proceed to the next one, that you should be completing this one before proceeding to that one. There is an interesting, it is called a 6-second rule. And this is quite a fun concept from the YouTube marketing. You have 6 seconds to hook your learner before they click away in the YouTube presentation. Those people who make the reels for YouTube, you have 6 seconds to grab the attention. And particularly if you see on YouTube, there is a lot of fake things as well. So they will show you that, okay, it is the John Wick 4 movie, and you think that, oh, okay, let me see it. Only the thumbnail is of John Wick, but otherwise the inside there may be something else, and immediately then you quit. So this is something, means when the beginning is not as per their expectations. So we have 6 seconds to hook our student before they click away for that. So what we can do to capture that 6 seconds following the rule is that we can start with a question, we can present a striking fact, or we promise a value. Like, if you do this, you will be able to solve this. So we start with that, okay, if you are trying to do this, make a presentation for you, and you want to integrate certain simulation or animation in your presentation, and you are having some difficulty, what to do? Something, pose that problem. Immediately the learner, the audience, they will start paying attention to that. Ask what if you could master hypothesis testing in under 5 minutes using that. So here the important aspect goes into the design thinking activity in that. So we ask our teachers when they're training that define your learning goal, break it into micro units, write one clear outcome, and think of a hook sentence. So that way you can proceed with that. So this brings us to then important activity here is to not only the text, but we now know that how to design bite-sized modules in terms of goals and structure. Let's talk about now making them come alive. And that is done through interactivity as well as multimedia integration. These are the elements that make this bite-sized learning effective, engaging, and memorable. So why these matter? Because they hold attention, they clarify complex ideas, and they cater to different learning styles. Although there is a caveat here, many of the educationists, they believe that this learning style is a hoax. They don't agree with that concept of learning style. Some of the psychologists say that we are the learning style like VARK, V-A-R-K, visual, auditory, those reading kind, and kinesthetics, those people who believe in doing with their hand. V-A-R-K, VARK learning styles. But some people, they don't, they have different opinion about it, about the whole concept of learning style. So, but that suits it here. And this is especially vital for online learning, where students can get distracted easily. Something pops up in their browser, and then they may be gone from that. So there are various type of multimedia elements which can be integrated, like videos, infographics, audio clips, podcasts, animations, interactive slides, etc. So means like if you want to share in the chat box, please share one type of multimedia you have used in teaching, or maybe you want to try in your teaching. So let us understand about the interactivity of these elements, how it can be showed. First of all, let us understand that interactivity is not optional. It is how the learners process and apply what they see. So we can achieve that through quizzes, through polls, branching scenarios, simulations. For example, okay, it will come later, I think. Duolingo, if you have used that app, you might be noting that it gives instant feedback after every phrase we translate. Means whether it is right or it needs revision, immediate instant feedback. And similarly, Coursera, it has quizzes after every 3 or 5 minutes video. So, and this approach aligns with NEP call for continuous formative assessment, so that we can keep on checking, and it supports active learning situation when we are dealing with a content package. This leads us to the gaming brainstorming, means how to make these bite-sized modules more engaging with gamification. But there are various, means what kind of game-like elements can you add in your content? They can be badges, they can be points, they can be leaderboards, or you can create challenges in that. And as an instructor, there is a tip that it works because it taps into motivation and reward systems. But please be careful that in the gamification, we have to be very careful. It has to be meaningful. It has to be linked with the learning outcomes. Otherwise, the whole of the scenario may change. There are certain examples of global case studies there. Like if you have seen Google Whisper courses, the internal employee training is delivered using them, using 2-minute mobile modules on a particular concept. For example, feedback, inclusion, leadership, on those things. So employees can review when needed, and it includes them. It builds a habit of learning in them through those. And similarly, Duolingo stories. They are very short, interactive reading exercises with comprehension checks. And what this helps into it? It helps into reinforcing the vocabulary in the context with that. In case of our Indian case study, we have a best example of SWAYAM platform, which is our own country's national MOOC platform, which is completely aligned with NEP goals. So courses are broken here into short videos. Oh, by the way, this is my online course on SWAYAM, Introduction to Virtual Reality. You are most welcome to join my course. It is very interesting course. You will learn about various aspects of augmented reality, virtual reality, extended reality, and those concepts. So the courses which are available on SWAYAM platform, so they have short videos. In fact, the introductory video is around 3 to 4 minutes only, which tells. So each video is tagged with the outcome. It includes quizzes, discussion forums, and therefore we operationalize this version for higher education by making the curriculum modular in nature, flexible in nature, and have a stackable learning pathways with that. So then the next part in these bite-sized modules is that we often think of assessment as big end of the semester exam, but what we need to do is to adapt the continuous, formative, and competence-based assessment. And these bite-sized learning needs bite-sized assessments to match. We can't think of the extensive kind long. The question is that why assess in small units? Because it reinforces the learning immediately, it gives feedback when it matters, it reduces test anxiety and supports the self-paced learning. If you see Coursera or edX, they often place a 1 to 2 questions quiz after a video, and the learners check their understanding immediately, and it encourages the active recall, a proven strategy in cognitive psychology. So sometimes you must have seen that you teach a concept and immediately you ask. So that is active recall of the concept, and that works with the short-term memory as well. Then we have micro credentials and badges. So they can be stacked towards a bigger credential. As you can see, there are some examples. So we can issue the badges upon completion of a particular module or a particular unit, and we allow the learners to collect evidence of their skills. And there are good examples like LinkedIn. If you have done some of their free courses also available on LinkedIn, paid courses as well. So they award certificate for shorter courses, which you can display on your social media portfolio platform. And SWAYAM NPTEL also issued certificates for modular learning. And this is called as modular stackable credentials to promote lifelong learning. Perhaps everybody knows about these formative assessment techniques. So we have quick quizzes, reflection prompts, peer feedback, flashcard systems, etc. And there are some tools like Quizlet is an app, and I don't know how many of you have seen this. This is an interesting platform called as Enki, which is a flashcard program which helps you to spend more time in challenging the material and less on what you already know. And it is a free open source flashcard app which is designed to help you memorize information efficiently using a learning technique. It is called as spaced repetition. That also goes into cognitive psychology, spaced repetition. So we do something, take some space, do something, so spaced retention. And what it does, it lets us create digital flashcards with text, image, audio, or even video on that. And then an algorithm is used by the platform to show us the card before we are likely to forget it. And it adapts to us because the easy cards are shown less often, hard ones the more often. And how it helps? Because it makes us to memorize faster and longer lasting. And excellent for learning languages, medical terms, exam preparation, technical concepts, anything that requires recall. So you can try this app, it's an interesting app. So there are certain challenges as well in it. Like so far we have covered how to design effective bite-sized modules, the pedagogy behind them, multimedia strategies, but let us be realistic. Implementing micro-learning is not without challenge. We must anticipate these barriers and even plan for the solutions. So the common challenges in higher education, they may be like technological access. Not all learners have reliable device or broadband, especially in rural areas or underserved regions. And therefore nowadays some of the companies which are entering into Indian market, they are offering that even if you don't have your device can be connected to internet via satellite link directly. So during the pandemic, many Indian universities, they struggled to reach students who had only basic phone or poor internet connectivity or the data package. So technical issues were there. The another challenge can be motivation or self-discipline. Because self-paced learning demands self-regulation.
Yeah.
And learners may skip micro modules or binge watch without reflecting on that. Then over fragmentation means breaking the content too much into smaller, sometimes may lose coherence. So we need to see the appropriate length of that because we may miss the big picture or connecting those dots between the smaller modules. And then faculty training. They may be used to traditional kind of lectures and they need to learn new tools and adapt the new design mindsets for these. So therefore, we need to recognize the digital divide and call for equitable, inclusive education for that by creating low bandwidth learning materials by using radio, television, or offline distribution of the content, and supporting the teachers with digital pedagogy training. It means that we need to think of designing micro-learning with inclusive access in mind. There are these various, we call them at 5 rules for bite-sized designs. So that will bring us to the end of our discussion, that we need to think of first all that focus on one clear learning goal, then keep it short and purposeful. So here what we need to think that when you start designing your bite-sized module, you need to ask certain questions yourself. Okay. That what is the specific learning goal you are trying to solve? What is the outcome your learners will achieve? How will you chunk the content? What multimedia activity you will include in your purpose, and how you will assess your learning into that. So those things, therefore these 5 rules, they will help you in that, by focusing on one clear learning goal at a time, keep it short but purposeful, use the relevant multimedia which is associated with that. If you need an image, use that image, no need for video, but where you need a video, use that video, not that image. It depends on your nature of the content, and include the interactivity. Embed the assessment to reinforce the learning into it and understanding, and ensure that these 2 aspects of accessibility and inclusivity in here. So micro-learning and nano-learning, they are not just the trends. They are powerful responses to learner attention patterns, technology access, and the need for, as the National Education Policy also says it, being flexible, competence-based education. So therefore, when we design these bite-sized modules, we honor our students' time, respect their cognitive processes, and support the lifelong learning. So thank you all for your attention to this session. Let's keep this learning innovative, make the education more accessible and effective for everyone. So thank you so much. If there are certain questions,
thank you so much, sir, for sharing those insights on today's Day 2 session, where we actually learned about pedagogical design of bite-sized digital modules. Of course, I had a lot of questions, but I guess because we do not have enough time, I won't be able to take those questions, but you have already answered a lot of questions, because we need to take care of accessibility, inclusivity part as well, and that's what NEP 2020 is focusing on. And as far as the questions or doubts are concerned, we have already shared our email ID with our viewers. If at all there is something that they would like to ask, even after the session gets over, they can definitely write to us. And so, sure. Because you know, I have to wind up my session because we have another session lined up. I would like to thank you for your time and contribution. What you shared is extremely important, because if we want to develop this content, we need to keep all these points in mind, so that we can develop a content that is engaging, informative, and at the same time, you know, it is serving the purpose also, because these days presenting content in a manner that is interactive, and that is inclusive, and that is accessible to one and all is the need of the hour. So thank you so much, sir, for your contribution.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Bye everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And now, viewers, I am going to wrap up this session. Today we concluded Day 2's training program under the umbrella theme of micro-learning and nano-learning, designing bite-sized digital content to enhance teaching learning. I told you in the beginning, it's an assessment. There is going to be an assessment. Since it's a training program, for the same you can log on to our CIET website for more guidelines. So please log on to CIET website, and with this I am closing the session here. But also I would like to share with you that tomorrow on Day 3 we will be bringing for you another very interesting topic, and that will be integrating multimedia and interactive tools. Now, before I exit, some more important informations. First, let's talk about textbooks. Yes, grade 4 and 7 textbooks are available. Please buy them from Amazon, Flipkart and NCERT website, and take a quick look at the schedule. Well, in a short while from now, you can watch our session Sahyog, where we will be decoding stress. With this, it's a wrap. This is me, Harpreet Kaur, taking leave of you. Namaskar.